Good morning, Agents of Nothing, and welcome to our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. We're your commanding officers. I'm Mariah.
And I'm Caroline.
And today we're going to be talking about Season 4, Episode 18, No Regrets.
No regrets. So, Mariah, how was your week?
It was good. As of recording, it was just Tyler's birthday on Friday.
Ooh.
So we hung out and we had a little birthday celebration, just the two of us, and it was nice.
Cute. I love that. Happy
Yeah.
birthday. How old is he now?
He is 28.
28? Just kidding. It doesn't work. So
No,
it's
it
just
doesn't.
our cool little club.
Yeah. I won't be part of it for much longer, dude.
Don't remind me. I just made it here.
So how was your week?
My week was fine. It was kind of boring. Oh, you know what? It wasn't actually. I just remembered that I wrote a new song and I'm really excited about it. And I think that you will be excited about it because it involves one of your special interests, Greek mythology.
Ooh.
So I wrote it a little over a week ago, and I was thinking about it as it's this silly little song because I named the name of it is Prometheus and Me in Colorado Springs. And I was I'm just writing a new ending to Prometheus and Heracles' story, and it's super fun and whimsical. And then I played it at this open mic that I've only been to twice, and cheers happened. I got so many compliments. I got several people came up to me afterwards and they were like, "Are you on Spotify?" And I was like, "Yes, I only have one song though." And they were like, "Was it that song?" And I was like, "I just wrote it 3 days ago." It was really fun and really cool, and it's the best song I've ever written apparently. So So yeah, that's what happened. I had a great week.
That's fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. I just noticed that I didn't get who it was written and directed by. Hold up.
Oh no.
Because it didn't have a Wikipedia page again, so...
Oh my god. Is it as we get further into the show, there's less Wikipedia pages for every episode?
I don't know, dude. It's weird. Maybe. I didn't look that far ahead.
Because it's they haven't been around as long. I feel because a lot of times with shows that go on for a long time, people are really so excited about it at the beginning, and everybody is dissecting every episode, and it's super involved fandom and everything. And then just as it goes on, as people kind of get less interested, or they start being interested in other things, it's they just stop paying attention as much.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe. I don't know. Thanks for
But they
vamping
shouldn't.
while I'm looking for this.
Because this episode was fucking crazy.
Truly.
If anybody is interested in hearing my song, maybe I'll put it on our exclusive stuff. So click click click.
Come on, I just had it pulled up.
Too bad it's not DJ Doyle. We would have already known.
Yeah.
He was in the credits though. I saw him. I saw the name.
Okay. All right, I got it now. We did
Okay.
it.
We did it! We're ready!
So this episode was written by Paul Zbyszewski and directed by Eric Laneuville.
Ooh.
Laneuville? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Laneuville. Um, so no actual new characters, except that kind of, sort of, they're new. You know what? There was a new character, Fitz's dad, Mr. Fitz.
Yeah.
But fuck that guy. Oh my god.
Oh god.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Cool. So, we start off. Virtual Coulson and Virtual Jeff are on a virtual mission. They are staging an accident on the road to stop a Hydra prison bus that should be coming by shortly, hoping that Skye is on the bus so that they can rescue her. And Jeff says that they're looking for someone else too, because actually he doesn't know Skye and does not give a shit about her.
I love that I believe Burroughs is the one that like pages them and says that the Squidmobile is coming. I thought that was so funny.
That's a good one. It does, yeah. It's an octopus, but it's a squid. So while they're waiting, Jeff tries to mine Coulson for more info about Simmons. Coulson doesn't really give much. He also doesn't really have that much to give.
Yeah.
He's like, I know barely more than what you know.
Yeah. I think he gives some non-answer about, like, he says, like, I know her well enough to know she's on our side.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But just then, the bus is arriving. So Coulson runs out and, well, actually, he doesn't run. He walks very calmly to get them to stop in front of the accident, and he distracts them while Jeff takes out the driver. Coulson kicks one of the agents unconscious outside the bus, which was so funny because I saw his foot, like, go past. So good. And then right as he's about to, like, walk in the door, Jeff throws the other guy out of the vehicle. But he says he hopes that Skye is not on this bus because it is full of body bags.
Yikes. I thought it was so, like, sad that Jeff's biggest regret is that his powers aren't real.
Yeah. Aww.
That's literally the one thing.
That's it. That's all he wanted. Poor Jeff. Back at Hydra, Daisy is dropped unceremoniously on the floor of yet another interrogation room. Dr. Fitz, as he insists on being called, is there alone with her and says that, unlike the other agents, he knows who she is and where she comes from. But he believes that she is here to destroy Hydra in his world, just like she did in her own world, and he cannot allow that. He asks for the location of the Patriot and Gemma Simmons, and Daisy says if she knew, she would tell them, because if anyone can wake Fitz up from this nightmare, it's Simmons. She tries to explain how much they love each other, but Fitz just hits her again, and then wipes his hand off, which is a choice. Okay, germaphobe. And he says some more evil stuff, and then Daisy just, like, cries defeated. Because they've already, like, told him, oh, you love Simmons so much, and he's like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But, alas. Ada finds May looking at the plaque memorializing the people who died, I think, at the Cambridge incident.
Yeah. So the plaque that Agent May reads at Hydra headquarters says, in remembrance of the 279 innocent souls who lost their lives in the Cambridge incident. While they perished at the hands of evil, the fight for justice will go on forever in their names.
Wow.
279.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
When I read that fun fact, I was like, damn, I can kind of see how this society got to where it did with that big of an incident.
Yeah, for sure. No, it, like, the thing is, like, it makes sense, but it's still shitty.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think the thing that sucks so much is, like seeing that slippery slope and being like, you know, you can follow the trail to see how they got here, and then seeing that, like, in the real world too is really awful.
Yeah.
May says that she regrets that day more than anything, which is interesting because this was to erase her other regrets, and now guess what? She was just gonna regret something.
Yeah. Regardless.
There was no good way for her trauma to go.
Yeah. There was no good way for that incident to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Ada tells her to focus on the future rather than the past, and May says actually they need to focus on the present, and that the Patriot is becoming more of a threat. Ada says that they may have a weapon to defeat him, but it would involve a risk. May says it's only a risk if you have something to lose. Which she doesn't, obviously. So she volunteers. I'm so sad for her. All the time. Mac, Jeff, and fucking Ward are talking. And Mac says that his daughter Hope is still pretty shaken about Hydra coming into their home, understandably, and them having to move into the bunker. Ward assures them that they are safer here than anywhere else, and Max says that he is ready to help them. So they tell him to get rid of the plates and the GPS on the Hydra bus that they stole so that they can use it to get into the prison and rescue their own agent. Max scurries off, and Jeff and Ward talk about how they still haven't been able to get Simmons to talk to either of them yet. But Jeff is confident that that's about to change. Literally, if they would just, like, talk to her, treat her like a human being, that would probably help. But, like, being like, you have to tell us everything! We don't trust you! Is never gonna work. We all just underwent a severe amount of trauma, and now you have to tell us all of your secrets. I wouldn't want to talk to them either. Simmons pulls Coulson away from handing out blankets to the civilians in the bunker. She says that they need to stop Jeff from going on all these useless missions. She wants to tell him the truth and convince him to just focus on getting everyone back to the real world. Coulson is against this because he doesn't believe the others have any fragments of memories the way that he does. They won't believe her, and they'll write them both off as crazy. And also, like, Coulson does live in this world, so, like, he's like, there's reality, and then there's also, like, what's right in front of me.
Yeah.
But Coulson does say that he gets a weird feeling every time Ward comes around, like hives or something.
So good. The fun fact here that I pulled just reiterates that Coulson says the sight of Grant Ward gives him hives.
That is so funny. Oh my god. Simmons explains that Coulson once crushed Ward's chest with his cybernetic arm and left him for dead on an alien planet. And he's right behind me, isn't he? A classic. They tell her that they want to speak with Miss Simmons. She says, "It's Doctor." Her and Simmons both. Even here, they are so in sync.
Her and Fitz both.
What did I say?
You said her and Simmons both.
Oh, fuck. They're the same.
They're the same.
Whatever. Just leave it.
Yeah, I will. It's cool.
Back at Hydra, May learns that the weapon is actually an augmented strength serum that will give her super strength and turn her into the weapon itself in order to defeat the Patriot. Wow!
So Adam Kolbersh returns as Hydra lab tech Kenneth Turgeon, who previously appeared in Making Friends and Influencing People and A Hen in the Wolf House as a co-worker of Gemma's while she was undercover at Hydra.
Oh. I thought he looked familiar. I was like, I'm never going to remember your name, but I've seen you before.
I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, that's good. Simmons decided to tell Jeff and Ward the truth anyway. She tries to convince them that they're in a simulation, but they just don't believe her, obviously. Jeff says that she doesn't know him. She doesn't know anything about him. And he refuses to believe that all of the loss and destruction and fighting for justice that he's experienced in this world has been meaningless. She realizes that she's offended him. She does not care about offending Ward. And in fact, rolls her eyes at him every time he speaks. But she does apologize for offending. They obviously don't care about offending her, though, considering they keep insisting on calling her Miss instead of Doctor. And also, I don't know, like, they were also insinuating that, like, actually, you're wrong and your reality is meaningless because this is my reality.
Yeah.
But anyway, she gives up for the moment and leaves the room. And Jeff says there may be some kernel of truth to her story and tells Ward to figure out what it is. Ada decides that she's going to try to get through to Daisy, so she sends Fitz away and heads in alone.
So when Fitz is telling Madame Hydra that Daisy will not give up her story, he uses the phrase, "Nevertheless, she persisted." This was a common phrase used during the marches of early 2017 to push back on the handering of women's rights, originating as an admonishment of Senator Elizabeth Warren by Senator Mitch McConnell for speaking on the Senate floor.
I remember that. Oh, fuck Mitch McConnell. Fuck him, dude.
Truly.
Oh my god. Wow. I didn't realize that he said that. That Fitz said that.
Yeah.
Ada says that she simply took away everyone's greatest regret and let the world take its course from there, just as Dr. Radcliffe had originally intended. And then you hear him through the walls going, "This isn't what I meant, you sadistic witch!" Very thin walls, apparently.
Big grates.
Yeah. Ada says that she can even make it worth it for Daisy to stay here if she wanted. She offers to change things so that Daisy can be with Lincoln here and live a long and happy life together, with no memories of either world. If only Daisy will tell Ada where she and Simmons are in the real world. Which is a terrible, terrible offer. No.
And also, like, Daisy doesn't technically know where they are.
Yeah.
They're in the air.
Mm-hmm. Daisy doesn't say anything, but she asks what's in it for Ada, to be in this world and, like, be in control of everything. And Ada simply says that it gives her what everyone else has, a choice. Okay. Sure. Mac lets Jeff know about his progress on the bus. He's done everything Jeff asked for and more, creating a comm system that will also spy on Hydra's movements using their own comms. He's a fucking genius. He offers to drive the bus too, but Jeff already has someone in mind for that. Mac goes back over to join his daughter, who has just started talking to Coulson and Simmons about the Dr. Fitz in her history book. Loved that Coulson was like, hey, nothing in there is real.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Simmons realizes who Hope is, and you can literally see her heart break for Mac. As it has been for us this whole time.
Yeah.
Jeff steals Coulson away and gives him the the Hake Phaedra ID. Jeff steals Coulson away and gives him the fake Hydra ID that Ward made for him and tells him that they are good to go to drive the bus. For him to drive the bus.
So Phil Coulson is given a Hydra ID with the name Jamie Flugelman. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines the last name as 1. A trained soldier formerly posted in front of a line of soldiers at a drill to serve as a model in their exercises, and 2. One at the head or forefront of a group or movement.
Oh my god! Aw. That is him. Coulson is Flugelman.
He's so Flugelman.
Wow. So back at Hydra, Fitz is being told about the security breach and that someone has been caught with contraband. And then all of a sudden we find out that the agent briefing Fitz is his father! Ouch! Pain! It's awful. I hate this.
Fitz's regret is his asshole dad.
Ah!
I hate it.
I hate it so much. But then that means he doesn't... Like, why does that mean that he can't also have his mom? You know?
I know.
Why is it one or the other? That's stupid. I mean,
Maybe
I guess...
his dad was just such an asshole that it was never going to work out with his mom.
That makes sense.
So this is a reality in which his dad wanted him. And
got full custody, I guess.
Yeah.
Damn. Terrible. Awful. Coulson pulls up to the gate of Hydra's Enlightenment Center. The guard at the gate takes for fucking ever to scan Coulson's ID, and the other guard hops aboard to look through the body bags in the back. But luckily, everything seems to go to plan, and he is let through the gate. Daisy listens to Radcliffe throwing things around his cell and goes over to the grate between their rooms to talk.
So he starts throwing things around because he's like, well, not because, but the first thing he says is, everything here tastes like tofu. And I said, Radcliffe, your bad experience with tofu is likely only because you haven't had it prepared in a way that you like. There are so many ways to eat tofu. I love tofu.
Yeah, be open to new experiences. Oh my god. Okay. Daisy says that this is a fitting punishment for him since he built this place in the first place. And he agrees. He says nothing can hurt him anymore after what Fitz did to Agnes, so she can say whatever she wants. Daisy is shocked that Fitz would be capable of that. She says that changing a regret can't change who you are as a person, but Radcliffe would beg to differ, and he's right.
Yeah.
He says even one sentence can change the trajectory of your life and therefore everything about you. Daisy asks if Radcliffe built a back door out of here that Ada hasn't destroyed. He says he did, and she can't destroy it, and so they lower their voices more, and he tells her where to go. Fucking finally. And also, you think they haven't bugged this great? That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, would y'all, like, talk in code or something? What the hell? Fitz and his dad are walking together and talking, and Fitz admits that he is having some regrets about killing Agnes, wondering if he really did have to kill her. His father tells him that's his mother talking, and to stop expressing such womanly sentiments such as sympathy. Or empathy, apparently. Wow. It's honestly, like, saying it out loud is so disgusting. Such womanly sentiments. Oh my god, okay, I'm just moving on. His father says that the man he raised doesn't question things like that, and his girlfriend, Ophelia, which is Ada's name, wouldn't want him to care about what ifs either. And this is what we're talking about. Nature versus nurture. Give Fitz his mom back. What the fuck?
Yeah. So David O'Hara, who plays Fitz's dad, actually played a character named Fitzy in The Departed. I don't know what The Departed is, but it was something that he was in. And he played a character named Fitzy.
Wow. Oh, I truly... I can't get over the way that he talks about emotions and women, and it's like there are like real people in charge of the world that believe the same things.
Yeah.
And it is so, like, I don't have words for the feeling that gives me. God. Okay. So Coulson parks the bus in front of the rehabilitation building. One Hydra guard comes on the bus and asks what he's doing. He sees the body bags and says disposal is on the other side of the grounds. But as he unzips the bag, Jeff is waiting to choke him and shove him to the side. And wow, what a shot of Jeff, like, sitting up out of the bag. It was so crazy, and he's so hot in this world.
So, two references. I think it was in this scene. But it might have also been in the scene where they were trying to get into the facility in the first place. But Coulson says that he saw a story on Bakshi TV or something like that.
Oh my god, Bakshi.
And he says something about an inhuman with lion paws for hands. Only the paws, nothing else. And so a user on r/shield who deleted their account, so I can't credit them, said, anyone else notice the reference in the latest episode about the inhuman with lion paws, nothing else? It was a reference to season 1 when John Garrett talks about the first time he came to the fridge after arresting a guy called John Horton who tried to enhance himself by giving himself lion paws.
Wow. What a reference. Oh my god.
I know.
Oh. That's crazy.
So thank you, mysterious r/shield user.
Yeah, thank you so much. That is... And, like, who the fuck... Who wrote that? Who was like, what, like, super deep cut reference can I use from our own show? That's crazy. Anyway, okay, so Coulson feels bad for teaching Hydra's lies every day, and letting his students get taken from his classroom. But Jeff says, like, at least it finally motivated him to do something about it. So he, Coulson, and Burroughs get ready to head in and get their friend. And I am so itching to know who it is. They get inside and find... literally, this rehabilitation is so disgusting. So they get inside
Sick.
and they find a row of cages, each with a single person crouching in them. So they can't even stand. And sorry. And they're like, this is rehabilitation. And Coulson says it's all about branding. Fucked up. So Jeff starts breaking the locks off, and they get to the man that they're looking for in the last cage. Antoine Triplet! Oh! I literally never would have guessed Trip.
Trip!
I literally, like, the clouds opened and, like, angels were singing.
And they went, Trip!
Yes, that's exactly what they did. In perfect choral harmony. Trip immediately says that they need to find his boots, and Jeff's like, we'll get you a new pair.
He's so me-coded. Trip, that is. I always need my boots.
Yeah. But Trip says, it's obviously I need what's in them. But honestly, like, even if there wasn't anything in them, like, those are my grandpa's boots, and they have cool little compartments in them.
Yeah.
So May tells Fitz that there's been an unauthorized drop at an enlightenment center, and she is positive that it's the Patriot. So Fitz gives her an injection of the super strength serum and says that it should last about an hour, so don't waste it. And then the Quinjet whisks her away. And I don't understand, like, shouldn't they have done the injection a little closer to her destination? Like how long of a flight is this?
That is a good point.
Because then they're fighting for like 5 minutes, and she's like, I'm drained.
I feel like they needed Fitz to do the injection because he's like the doctor. But he didn't want to, like, actually leave the facility.
I guess.
That's my best guess.
Probably. You're probably right.
So the composition of the super serum used by Melinda May in the framework is the same as the one used by Calvin Szabo in the real world to get his super strength. Calvin Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Why Szabo?
I will never get over Szabo.
The improved version of the same serum was used in Project Patriot, which gave Jeffrey Mace his powers in the real world.
Oh, so this is the unimproved one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it has the gorilla testosterone and the dash of peppermint.
Yeah. And the peppermint to make it feel a little bit better going down. Except that it's not like she was drinking. It's an injection.
I know. That would hurt so bad.
Ugh. Oh my god. Feeling peppermint going through your veins? That's disgusting. I can't. No. Anyway, back at S.H.I.E.L.D., Mac and Simmons are talking about the abysmal state of education in Hydra's world. Mac says that the kids don't learn about the Trail of Tears or the Holocaust or Martin Luther King Jr. They only learn about Hydra and Hydra's history and propaganda.
If I could interject,
yeah.
The way he was talking, it definitely seems like this is a more recent turn. Like, Hydra's world.
Right.
Like, he can remember a time before it.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that. Because he knows about these things.
Yeah.
You know?
Imagine something like the Holocaust only living on as something like a story that's told to you by your parents.
Right.
Like, I remember they used to teach us this in school. Listen up, kids. Like,
right. Yeah. And then, like, God, the fear of, like, having, like, the obligation of being like, I have to teach my kids everything that I remember of what I've learned about history, because they're not going to learn it from anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then being like, am I remembering it right? Like,
yeah. And then you have to make sure, like, don't tell anyone this.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Oof. Anyway, so Max says that's why in his house he's the judge of what's real, which could definitely, like, go too far the other way, but we'll ignore that because it's Mac. But Hope calls him over because she has mastered her new toy and wants to show him. Simmons watches their sweet moment together, and so does Ward. Ward says that it must be hard to watch a fake father love their fake daughter, knowing that it's all fake. Simmons tells him to stop vaguely mocking her, because she knows that he doesn't believe her, and she still kind of can't stand to look at him. Same. And he finally asks what he did in her world to make her hate him so much. More
like, what didn't you do?
Truly.
Lord?
You did everything. She doesn't answer, because I'm sure she's like, where do I even start? So he starts to guess, and she finally confirms that he killed multiple people. Understatement of the century.
If I were her, I would have started with just, you were my friend and you tried to kill me.
Yes.
And Fitz, while we're at it.
Mm-hmm. You
that evil Dr. Fitz, you tried to kill him too.
Yep. He'd probably be happy about that, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyway, but for what it's worth, he does apologize sincerely. He doesn't know everything that he did, but he doesn't want to have done evil things or have hurt people. So that's something, I guess. And Simmons and I never thought that we would hear that from Grant Ward's mouth. So that's great. And I feel like that was, like, the sole reason that they even brought him back. But then he has to fucking ruin it, obviously. And he says, don't you feel how much Mac loves his daughter? Doesn't that make it real? To him! Right now!
Yeah.
But, like, Mac loved his daughter in the real world, even though she had died. Like, he still loved her. The love is real, but the person is not.
Yeah.
The difference is that this is, like, a specially curated and aged up version of her. And to be honest, like, they've been spending every waking and sleeping moment together for days, hiding in an underground bunker, and they haven't bickered once. A preteen under stress and duress? That's not real. This version of Hope is so easy to love because she is perfected. She is like a flawless version of a child. Like, perfectly made for Mac. And real people aren't, and you have to love them regardless and because of those flaws.
Yeah. Well put.
Thanks. I write things. As Tripp is looking for his boots, he tells Coulson that he hid some film of, like, photos that he took in the fake heel of his boot, of his Howling Commando boot. He took some pictures of plans that Hydra was working on for a weapon. As he finds them, Coulson sees one of his students out the window being led across the grounds. Tripp says that they're heading for quarantine, where they take all of the kids. And Coulson's like, kids?
Plural?
Coulson tells Tripp to get the film to Jeff, but he's not going to fail Chris twice, so he heads over. Jeff gives the film to Burroughs at the bus, and then they see the Hydra Quinjet coming in. So Jeff tells Burroughs to get the film back to HQ. We're just passing it on at this point. While he and Tripp go help Coulson. Ward gets the call back at base and gets ready for the extraction. And he's about to ask Mac to come help him out on it, but Simmons stops him and says that she'll go in his place. Ward's like, oh, is this because you're starting to think of them as real? And she's like, Mac is real.
First of all,
what happens to him will happen to him here and in the real world, so go fuck yourself. And Ward's like, are you sure it's not about that little girl? You are insufferable everywhere. Every version of Ward, I hate. She just told you that he is different. Sorry. So as Triff, that's their ship name.
Triff, aw.
As Triff get to the isolation building, May catches up to them. Jeff sends Tripp in to find Coulson and get ready for the fight of his life. He taunts May, saying that she decided to join the Inhumans with her super strength, and she just screams and continues kicking ass. Coulson and Tripp find a classroom full of kids in the middle of their Hydra brainwashing with their eyes taped open. Coulson recognizes several of his students and hopes that their bus is still here. Yikes. Excuse me. That was waiting to come out for a while. Jeff finally throws May through a brick wall, and she slowly sits up and says that Jeff is a terrorist and a thug. And he just says, if I was, you would be dead right now, obviously. And then he runs inside. May lets him go and calls for help, saying that her strength is wearing off. I love that she's like, he got away. And it's like, no, you let him. It's right in front of you. Ada and Fitz are listening on the other line and confirm that there is still a Quinjet there. May says that Jeff went into the quarantine building, but she doesn't know who all is in there, how many people are in there. Ada asks if it matters, and Fitz says no. So they tell the Quinjet to fire on the building and blow it up, and tell May to bring back the Patriot's body. Holy fuck. They are knowingly collapsing a building on a bunch of children.
Damn. My thought with the with the shot of the Quinjet blowing up the building, I wonder how hard the special effects people had to work to change like all the Quinjet designs to have the Hydra logo instead of the SHIELD logo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of frames to do that.
Yeah.
Ward and Simmons are just arriving and like cutting a fence open when the Quinjet fires and then takes off. They find Tripp leading kids out of the building and telling them to run past the fences and don't stop. Ward and Simmons go back in with him to help get more of them out, and Coulson tells Simmons to get out before the whole building comes down, as though she's gonna just leave him. But then just before the ceiling collapses, they see Chris about to get crushed, so Jeff leaps over and covers him. I was so anxious during this part. May's Hydra agents tell her not to go into the building yet while it's so unstable, but she says that she has to confirm if the Patriot is dead. So she turns on her body cam and runs in. Do you think she turned it off? As she makes her way through the building, she runs into multiple kids, including Burnell. She did not know that there were kids at this facility, so I'm thinking that Framework May is about to be radicalized the other way. And then she finds the S.H.I.E.L.D. team and demands to know where the Patriot is. They all tell her that Jeff is a little bit busy saving a kid right now, and so she can either shut up and help or go away. She's like, I was trying to save a kid before, too. And keeps her gun aimed, and Coulson just tells her to wake up. And then suddenly Jeff lifts the rubble off the floor and like with a huge beam so that Coulson can get Chris out.
I don't know what it says about me that like I knew what was coming fully, but my thought was lift with your knees, Jeff. And he did. He lifted with his knees. That was proper posture.
He did a great job. The rest of them try to find something to hold up the beam so that they all have time to get out of the building, but Jeff says that it won't hold. He can hold it up long enough for them to get out. They all tell him no, but he is the only thing holding up the building right now, and so he orders them all to go. May is the last one in the room with him and nods, finally understanding that she has been working for the wrong side. The kids are all on the bus with Burroughs, and Coulson and Simmons pause at the fence as the building crumbles behind them. I was sobbing so hard. I really think this is the hardest that I've cried at this show. Oh my god.
So yeah, this episode features the death of Jeffrey Mace. He died in the Framework world while holding together a crumbling building, and as a consequence, he died in the real world where the android Ada was keeping him prisoner.
And you know what? He would have done that in the real world too. Whether he had powers or not.
Yeah.
Ugh, Jeff. At least he got to look really hot in his last episode.
Yeah.
Bad. Ada watches triumphantly as Fitz and his father toast glasses of champagne to celebrate the death of the Patriot. Obviously not giving a single fuck about the kids that they were gonna crumble. And then Ada goes back to the real world and finds Jeff flatlining, so she hits disengage. So now it's time for the post-content content, I guess.
Sad pew-pews. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
So during the commercials before the credits of the episode, an advertisement for L'Oreal Hydra Genius Liquid Care, a blue liquid soap, was aired.
That's so funny. What the fuck? Wait, why would they do that right after Jeff died? What the fuck?
And that's a real product, too, is the thing.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Oh my god. These fucking people are so funny. Oh my god. Okay. So the post-content, May comes into Daisy's cell and asks if she's really an Inhuman. Daisy slowly gets up and she looks even worse than she did before and says yes, and she's powerful enough to bring this whole place down. So May pulls out a Terrigen crystal and says, I hope so, before smashing it on the floor, and then they smile at each other as Daisy's cocoon grows around her. Thank God they re-radicalized May, because they were never going to get out without her.
Truly. All right. Overall thoughts?
I mean, first of all, R.I.P. Jeffrey Mace. Great job, buddy. You did it.
You did it.
This sucks. And Bear McCreary coming in with the score, that was quite a swan song they gave Jeff. Like, it literally just like pulled every emotion out of me.
I know. I wish there would be more like fun facts about the score, like for this season.
You did it, Bear.
We miss you, Bear.
We miss you. Come on the pod.
He's so busy.
He's like, I'm literally writing the score for everything in the world right now. I can't. Sorry.
All right. Well, that concludes our episode on season 4, episode 18, No Regrets.
I have a lot of regrets, actually.
Next time, we'll be covering season 4, episode 19, All the Madam's Men. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Love you.